Check it out. Awesome. Awesome cars. These things are like picking up little car candy. That's the only thing I can put it. Most of the time in this hobby, when you like, very detailed cars, Hot Wheels were fun to have around, but you never really got too serious about it. And I know a lot of people are into them and love them, and I do too. But their status is definitely elevated for me, anyway. I've always had them. I always got the ones I liked. Probably like one or two Hot Wheels a year, and that's kind of weird because most people even touch Hot Wheels and buy them. They're usually getting a bunch of them. Now I get it because I kind of got a little bit carried away with some of the Hot Wheels. They're just making better castings. I think the technology now on these cars is so much better. Even in the past probably 10 years, I mean, it's compressed, I think, even for the past 5. It has been sort of just accelerating with the type of detail that they can put on a car and still sell it and make a profit on it is basically what it comes down to. And the cars are just really good. They're still delivering on the quality. It's come up. It went away for a long time. I think the mass production was more important, but the technology wasn't quite caught up to the levels of distribution that they wanted. But now it's almost there. So, when they want to do a 55 Bel Air, they can do it, and it looks like one. You know, I could show you castings from the old days. We all know what I'm talking about. Everything was wrong about the car, but it did play well. It was rolled down the track, and it went on the sidewalk, and it did its job. But now we can have both. I mean, these cars, obviously, they roll really well, and they look awesome. And when you get a premium car from Hot Wheels, I mean, the paint is really good. I got to give it to them. Metal and metal construction. Obviously, you're going to be sacrificing the scalability. But if you look at some of their stuff, they try to get it really close. So they'll put some more money in, or if it happens to be a body style that'll fit in that blister pack, it'll get the green light. It'll be pretty darn close to a 1/64 scale. So, you put it against other cars, they're close. A lot of these drag cars that I got, which I love the American stuff. A big history buff with all these cars. Especially some of these represent a continuation of what factory efforts were too, especially with that Chrysler. Well, not completely factory, but guys that built and engineered the cars built those altered wheelbase. So Coronet's really cool too. So we'll take a look at them. Got them here, kind of lined up. The one that's in front is the purple one. That didn't come out in the set. It's really 1 through 5. And I think if I didn't screw my order up, that's where, it's 1 through 5 this way. 1 being the green car, 55 Try Me. Good looking car. I think I like this better than this one. But paint on this is awesome too. So you got the big deal and metal base. If you look at the two cars closely, you'll notice that different wheels and tires on the back. So I thought that was cool. They actually did that through the whole set on the Dragster Demon set for the car culture. So this is everybody loves it. Who's into Hot Wheels wants these cars. I just like them. I love gassers. I love 55s. Obviously, the Nomad has been the backdrop for many videos. That 1/16th Nomad that I built a long time ago. Probably needs a refresh, but she's sitting in the case waiting, I guess. So these are cool, and I think that if I get the opportunity to get a 55 1/16th, I'll probably build something like this, because they did a hard top, they did a convertible 2-door, and they did the Nomad. So they're out there. I'm sure round 2 is gonna eventually probably reissue it soon. I'm guessing they've been putting a lot of stuff out. But back to the cars. What's cool about it, they even with the 3 or 4 pieces that they're allowed to use in cars like this, they get all this detail. And so you can see right down to the ground. So they opened up the chassis. That's part of it. Even on the mainline one, it has that detail. So they're able to put in the window. So they both are tinted. It's just great. They have the raked. And you can see we'll bring it down a little bit. It's got the rake stance and everything. It's all there. It's all there. Such a great car. What a cool car. So there's your Chev 55. Try me. I think not for a triple car, but it's probably for referencing Tri-Fi Chevys from the 55 through 57. Bel Airs, 510s or 210s or whatever the post cars were. This represents 55 post. So it could have been a Bel Air, could have been a Biscayne. We're not in at Biscayne yet. Probably just like a base, or they call them 210s or whatever. You can correct me, but yeah. That's what made a strong car, though. A little bit lighter, I guess, than the one that was pillarless. So, 55 Chevrolets. Love them. Probably represent, looks like a big block Chevrolet in there. Ton Ram, all that stuff. So, there's our Chevs. So, we got those old girls here. Put them over here. Great looking cars. Always fun to look at. We got our Nova. This one's still got the newer wheels that Hot Wheels has been doing. But, and the real riders, of course. But the tread on it, on this Chevrolet, this is a 63 car, Nova. It's got like the old school Real Riders. It's got the treaded ones. So these are like, remind me of the old days when they first came out in the 80s. Real Riders. But they do the Tampo printing, so it shows a good year. If you look at it this way, obviously it look like a slick, again, ultra wheelbase car. Try to get the weight transferred to the rear. Engine up front, shorten the wheelbase. And they went. This is like the technology that they were using back then. This is the predecessor to the funny cars, the real funny cars. These were the first ones before they did the full tube chassis and the fiberglass body. Yep, these are still basically factory vehicles. They just took out the floor and they moved it forward. That's all they did. And they they cut the wheel well out, move it forward. That's all they did. And they pieced it back together. So, they were talented people that were doing it. And they probably 4-link it or keep a leaf spring rear end, depending on what kind of application they came up with. A lot of these guys are so successful. The cars, even though the class kept moving forward, these cars would still race. So they're still good. Still a light vehicle. 63 Chevrolets, I mean, that's a good car to start with anyway. So, great looking stuff. Too much, too soon. So there's our Nova. Then we got Dodge, another ultra wheelbase car. This is more like a full-size car. Or probably intermediate maybe. But, Coronet, probably what is an intermediate, but today's standards, it's definitely a full-size vehicle. So Coronet, I believe, is a 65 car. It's got anodized front wheels that look really cool. They share this wheel with the gasser, so it's got a narrow profile. It looks more realistic on the car. Metal base, not as detailed as the gasser. Tinted window. It's got the stack injection. They do the tampo for the hood pins, and they also pin the rear deck. Probably have your fuel cell in there. You can change ballast on this car depending on track conditions, stuff like that. But if you really screwed around with it, you could take these cars are turned into wheel standers and put on a show for the crowd. You can put some titanium or whatever back here, some plate, and have it drag sparks down the drag strip. There's a Coronet, eastbound and crowned. Again, this has a more old school rear end on it in terms of the tires. Wheels and tires, this definitely looks like an old school rear wider because they used to have the white wheels, but there's still a molded, let's see here, get a look at it better. Bring this back a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit more molded wheel. It's not like the turbine style back then, but same type of tire. I mean, I bet that tire would go in the same car, most likely. So there's Coronet, painted front end. Even though it's part of the base, like they do, they paint the headlights and everything, so that looks good. And they tampo the front license plate. I love it. It looks awesome. So another Dodge. The whole set's great. I mean, I didn't even say, usually with the car culture stuff, I'll probably get 3 or 2 out of the 5, but this set was just too much for me. And I didn't even get doubles of most of it. I only got doubles of the Bel Air and the Nova, the 66, because those are my favorites. But I still loved all of them. They look great together. So we'll look at the Mercury. Mercury Comet Cyclone in real life, definitely a rare car. A lot of people, for the price on these vehicles, a lot of it was driven by price when you were buying muscle cars, and a lot of cars offered a lot of horsepower for the same price and this and that. So that's why you'd see more or less of certain models. Comet, again, probably out there, but it wasn't a very high volume car in this trim. So Cyclone was sort of new. They were trying to catch up General Motors, Chrysler doing their thing. But you had another intermediate car, or a small car, really. I mean, this was almost, it was on the Falcon, so it's really a Ford Mustang that beefed up a little bit, but it's still a lot of Mustang. Put a small block in there, looked perfect. So yeah, that's the Mercury Cyclone. It's got really cool, awesome livery. I love the red, white, and blue. It definitely looks like a 60s, 70s car. It's got the awesome livery. It's got really cool. I mean, if you put this through the light and you look at it, it becomes very sharp the way it does. And so, painted the taillights. They did the whole treatment on these cars. This has got a pearl paint on it. You can't really see it too well with the camera. Same thing with the Chrysler. That Coronet, that car's got a metallic yellow. All these cars are metallic pretty much, except for the 63 car. That's a straight red. The other thing I forgot to show or on paint real quick. I love that detail. And they also do it on the striping. So they put those star patterns in there. That candy top that they used to do. They did a good job. I mean, it's not completely like that, but like the heavy flake that they would do, but it's real close. It gives a great appearance. Anyway, back to the Mercury. So Cyclone, they had the hood on there. Ram Air. This one's a little undersized. A little bit. I said the 55s, I'd say real close. They could be slightly bigger, but not much. I mean, this Nova is pretty much the best, I think, scale-wise. Really close. Thing about this car, looks great on the profile. Great color. I love the livery, Supernova, and it's got the 50 on there, and it's got the comet going through the space right there. It's awesome. It's like airbrush, what you'd see. It's just a really cool livery on this car. It got the awesome rim and tire package. It's got Goodyear slicks. And these slicks are all the same. They put the different pad printing on them, but you see the sidewall detail is really nice. These type of wheels are so good that they can go on the better cars in terms of scale. Wheel swap. It'd be sad to do it to a car like this, but they do have wheels on this and other stuff. So there's your motors. Looks like small or big block Chevrolet. It's got dual quads. Looks like it's got a blower on it, so it's got some big power on this car. Yeah, this is a straight gasser. I mean, it's got your gasser. Got your tank in the front. So they paint the headlights on this car, but it's all solid diecast. I love it. Real heavy car. What's cool about this is they knew they were going to stretch out this axle, so they beefed it up on the chassis, gave it some protection there, made it look like one of those solid axle swaps that they used to do. But the track on it's kind of funny. It's almost like a tractor. They had a huge wide front and then a narrow rear end. I think they had to really, as you can see, work under confines of having that thick casting on that rear wheel. Now on the back is detailed. This is nice. It's got the Chevy bow tie, and it's got the tail lights. You have your air parachute back here, so that's all bundled up. No wheelie bars or anything. This car's ready to race right like this. This car not ultra wheelbase car. It's a little bit more straight up gasser style. So we have gassers and ultra wheelbase. It's so cool. It's such a great period in American drag racing history. What these cars represent. Great paint jobs that they used to do with the heavy flake and the candy. It was just awesome. Really cool time period. On a lot of it's a lot of good times. So there's the garage today. Got some Hot Wheels cars. I love them. You know, I got some others that we can look at in a little bit, but I thought we'd look at that. And yeah, till next time.